For my group proposal, my target population is women veterans who have been diagnosed with PTSD due to military sexual trauma. The reason this group is needed is a study that was conducted in 2017 that included 5,826 military veterans showed that 12.9% have been diagnosed with post traumatic stress disorder. However, veterans are known to not seek help due to the stigma surrounding mental health and mental health care. Many also fear that if they seek help, it will affect their military or civilian careers. Another factor that plays a part in veterans opting to not seek treatment is the lack of resources that are available. The impact of not seeking treatment ultimately leads to the disorder being left undiagnosed, which could end up having life altering consequences that could affect the veteran's quality of life. Lastly, creating this group will be a stepping stone for veterans to get the help they need. The main objective for this group will have, if created, is to provide veterans with the necessary support and treatment that is necessary in their recovery. It will give them the chance to speak openly and freely about their experiences while serving in the military. Being a part of this group, veterans will also gain the knowledge on coping strategies while also learning about their triggers and how to avoid them. There will also be the opportunity to connect with other veterans who share similar experiences. Prior to the first session, those interested in joining the group will undergo a screening process or pre group meeting where they will be able to learn more about the group, share what their expectations or goals are while attending. During this time, any questions or concerns that the prospective member has will also be addressed. By conducting the pre-group, the member will have the chance to decide if attending group will be a good fit, and if they feel at that time the group is not the route for them, then other options and treatment will then be discussed, such as attending individual therapy. The group will welcome female veterans who are survivors of military sexual trauma or MST as a result has been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Given the nature of some of the topics that will be covered and the sensitivity of the stories that will be shared, an age requirement of 21 years of age and up will be set in place. The group sessions will be held at a local community center where chairs will be set up in a circle. The group sessions will be held upon arrival. Upon members' arrivals to the community center, there will be signs that will direct them to the room where the meeting is being held. Each member will be welcomed while taking their seats. Once all members have arrived, the sign will be brought in and the door will be closed because this will be a closed group session. The meeting will be held indefinitely for 1 hour on Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. To ensure that the meeting ends on time at 7:55, group members will be notified that the session is about to end for the night. At 8 p.m., the members will be told that the meeting has officially ended, and I will thank the group members for attending their first group session and encourage them to attend the next session. As stated before, at the beginning of the first session, when each member is seated, I will once again thank them for having the courage and openness in attending group. And by attending, they are making the first step in their recovery. Before going into the first topic of the night, the group agreements will be discussed. The group agreements will consist of no cell phones. All cell phones must be turned off. Um, each member will be respectful of the other members within the group as far as not being judgmental about what's being said. And that if there's a situation where the meeting has to be held online or telehealth, then through that meeting, then there will be a request for all cameras and microphones to be turned on. I will once again, once each member is seated, I will once again thank them for having the courage and openness in attending group. And by attending group, they are making their first step in their recovery. Before going into the first topic of the night, the group agreements will be discussed. And if there are any questions at that time, they will be answered. The group will then start with an icebreaker where each member will be asked to introduce themselves. And if they would like to share anything and anything extra, then at that time they will be able to do so. The way I would approach scanning is by making sure that I am establishing eye contact with each of my group members. That way I can let them know that I see them and that I hear them. With bridging, if there is an instance during the session where a member hasn't been heard, and that could be if there's a conversation, and say, for instance, Amanda is talking about a situation that she has experienced, and and then I asked if there's anybody else that has shared a similar experience, and at that time then there's nobody that has responded. And if there's one person that hasn't been participating within the group, I will call on them and ask them if there's anything that they would like to share. And that could be an example of asking Tracy if there's anything that she would like to add to that. Would she like to address, share any experiences that she has? The way I would approach with bridging, if there is an instance, the session where a team member hasn't been heard, I would ask her if she has any feedback on what her fellow member has said, or if there's anything that she would like to share. In reflecting, I will give the group members the opportunity to understand their thoughts and feelings, and then offer them the opportunity to speak openly about those emotions. By affirming, it is basically acknowledging what the member has said by repeating it by paraphrasing. My philosophy in being a successful group leader is by making sure that I remain consistent in conducting a group and ensuring that any conflicts that arise are always handled respectfully within the group. I want to be always empathetic towards my group members and making sure that I am attentive and encouraging. Another thing that I would like to add about my group is I want my group members to feel that by attending my group that it's a safe place. That there are instances where there are members who have suffered trauma at the hands of sexual assault, and they may be afraid to be open and honest about what they endured. It could be because they may have a fear of retribution or being judged. So I want my members to feel that they're not being judged, that by attending my group, they have support, they have the ability to be open. It's a place of confidentiality, and that each story, each opinion is respected, and each person will be heard. Because again, enduring military sexual trauma and everything that has happened afterwards is something that is very hard for women to deal with. That's why I really, even though it's been said that men also have experienced sexual assault in the military, um, you really don't hear cases about men being assaulted in the military. You often hear about women being assaulted. There's always stories about women who have reported whether it was being sexually harassed or being sexually assaulted, and it's being swept under the rug. And then when women go to seek help, they don't feel like they're getting the necessary help that they need. So for my group, I want them to feel that they are going to get the help that they need, and they are in a safe environment where they will be heard, they will be respected, and they have somebody who they can talk to. Thank you.